I had a grandfather who got really into a Smurf mobile game. That's how he wasted $1,200.
When you were younger, you may have had crushes on video game people before you had crushes on real people.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I played Frogger, man.
So yeah.
What about the assumption that video games have become too woke?
Most of the people that are complaining like this loud about stuff, they don't even play any of these games.
My first awareness of like, uh-oh, hot guy was my dad.
Hey guys, I am Spencer Agnew. You may know me as the director of Smosh Games. And today I'm joined by some really good gamers. So why don't we go around and introduce yourselves?
I'm Jacob Alpharad, and that's my introduction.
Cool.
I'm Matt from Girlfriend Reviews.
I'm Shelby from Girlfriend Reviews.
I'm Scott.
From?
Scott the Woz.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys. I've watched all you guys for a long time. So why don't we start with some assumptions, guys? Why don't we assume when you were younger, you may have had crushes on video game people before you had crushes on real people?
Yeah.
One, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I played Frogger, man.
So yeah.
Did you have Mrs. Frogger?
Yeah,
Was there Mrs.
sure.
Frogger?
Is there a
There was Mrs. Pac-Man.
Are you not a fan of Frogger?
Yeah.
I don't like Frogger.
This
You don't think
guy.
he's hot?
I don't think, I actually played Frogger 3D on computer. That shit sucked.
I played a Game Boy Advance one, and that's just what I'm thinking about right now. I never got
Think about
past the
that
first
guy.
stage.
Think about that frog.
My first awareness of like, uh-oh, hot guy.
Uh-oh.
Hot man, was my dad.
Uh-oh. What's my dad?
Not my dad.
Freudian.
Next part of the story. My dad got me a used like PlayStation 2 and a bunch of games on eBay in a bucket. Final Fantasy X though was in
That was
there.
gonna be mine.
And that man with his big pants
Titus?
and his,
How do you say
his
it?
big
Titus,
clothes
yeah.
and his spiky
I like
hair.
Titus,
I said hello, but also he had some very bodacious friends that I also said hello to. So
I wouldn't say video game crushes before real crushes.
Yeah.
I was, grew up in the NES, Super Nintendo era. Those pixels weren't exactly, that hot or anything. But
Wow.
definitely Final Fantasy VII with Aerith, depending on where you
Yeah.
are. Certain character who I maybe just named, gets killed off, and that was pretty devastating as a child.
may or may not.
Not because I had a crush on her
Yeah.
necessarily, but it definitely was one of my first experiences with true loss.
I guess with Fortnite, kids probably see like Chun-Li and have crushes on her before.
No, that's gotta be
Catherine in
formative.
kindergarten. I feel like I was at least, probably at least in my teen years before I was like, oh yeah, no, I get Tifa Lockhart. I get it.
Just the frog?
You said video game crushes
you're-
before regular crushes, man. I'm thinking about the games I played back then. All I could think about was Frogger.
How
Man.
about
like-
Frogger getting crushed by the cars?
Oh yeah, that was a very formative, very strange time for me.
Really
I think
shaped
he
you.
answered the
Yeah.
question personally.
Yeah, no, I was gonna let him pass with frog.
You assumed correctly, yeah.
What do you guys think about the assumption that adults should not be playing video games?
Adults deserve to have some fun. Like, I don't know. Like, I think everybody, there's such a preconceived notion of like what's mature or like what's manly or whatever. And, like why isn't Donkey Kong Country Returns HD for anybody over the age of 19,
Did you guys have parent gamers?
My mom looked at the Cars video game for GameCube and said, graphics are so incredible right now.
She was right.
Yeah, and that's the only rage. I mean, like, my dad liked Pac-Man and Galaga.
It's like my parents loved to like deny being gamers, and then they would tell me stories. They'd be like, I was at the arcade for 4 hours playing Pac-Man. I'm like, you're a gamer.
That'll do it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like if they had been there, you would have been a gamer.
All these fools,
Yeah.
they're sitting on their phone all day on Facebook and playing their little Candy Crushes and stuff, and then they look down upon me for
Yeah.
holding a controller. How dare they?
Sorry, you're a gamer too. Candy Crush.
No, the people who say, not that they don't say they're gamers, but they might not think of themselves as a gamer. Those are the people I know who play, what's that one pizza game? Good Pizza, Great
I
Pizza.
love good pizza, great pizza.
Exactly. How many hours have you put into that?
Too many.
Exactly.
Okay. It's my no brain cell game.
I had a grandfather who got really into a Smurf mobile game and did not realize that when they ask for your money and the microtransactions, he thought they were pretend Smurf dollars.
Aren't they though?
Yeah. No, they are not.
I wish they were.
So that's how he wasted $1,200.
It could have been worse.
$1,200.
That's a lot for
What's
someone
the-
who's living off like Social Security.
So that's a gamer. He's invested
Well,
in it.
that's a gambling addict.
Yeah, you're right.
What's the conversion rate of Smurf dollars to real dollars?
I'll ask him. I'll get back to you.
Everybody's gonna get icked by something that you
Yeah.
like. Not everything that everybody likes is for everyone, so don't worry about it.
Now, would you guys say that gaming is contributing to the male loneliness epidemic?
I think that's their problem.
Yeah, I think maybe.
It's like play better games.
Yeah.
Play
That's a
multiplayer.
personal problem.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why is it just male? Why can't it be
Yeah.
a loneliness problem for even your grandma?
The
if she's on
female
her phone
loneliness
playing
epidemic.
Farmville all day, you know?
That's true.
But yeah, I think it is. I think they're addicting and take up a lot of time. They're made these days to take up as much time as possible
Yeah.
and keep you going. So it's got to be contributing, you know? But so does probably all the, you know, streaming services like
Junk food too.
yeah, just like all the binge watching you can do these days.
Cell phones.
Yes, like everything contributes to loneliness.
Just tech in general.
COVID.
Are you lonely?
Huh?
Are you lonely?
Yeah.
Me too. So there's your answer.
Yeah.
This is an assumption I have a lot of thoughts about, and it is that you can't enjoy video games anymore because it's essentially your work.
Yeah.
I don't think accountants file a 401ks for fun.
It's still fun to play games.
I think my job is fun. I think the fact
Yeah.
I get to play games means my job is fun and I have fun playing the games for my job.
Totally.
But at the same time, like there are different games that I would not do on stream or make a video out of that I think are kind of for me.
Like protecting yourself.
Yeah, I mean, also maybe I don't think they would make good content, but I want to play them. Like that's kind of where a lot of RPGs fall for me because I love RPGs and I love playing through them, but it's kind of like I trap myself in a room for 3 days and that's me private
Yeah.
time.
Are there games that you guys have like protected for yourself? It's like you don't want to turn into content?
I haven't necessarily thought I don't want to turn this into content, but I stream a lot on Twitch, and so I started playing Infinity Nikki, which is like Breath
That's a
of the
slippery
Wild,
slope.
but gambling and fashion. And I loved it. I just decided I didn't want to play it on stream because
Yeah.
it's like me time.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that the actual content in the game, the footage you might capture, won't be very funny, or it won't lend itself to like making the kind of content we make. Things that like, you know, Shelby might not want to watch me play because it's a card game or just a flat game full of numbers that you need to
Say the name.
You know, well, Slay the Spire or
I heard a Balatro
I was
sneaking
gonna say,
in there.
yeah.
Balatro, yeah.
We can use the B word.
Yeah, so those are games that like I play a lot on my own that are still fun, that have nothing to do with work really. Even the games that are though, that's still the best part of
Yeah.
the job is playing the games. They don't really get, you know, they don't feel like work ever.
I think a big element of video games is just being able to kind of kick back and kind of relax. And I think like when you're kind of constantly thinking about how can I turn this into content or what are my thoughts on it, and I need to form a thesis statement perhaps, or what jokes can I make about this, like it kind of messes with your mind a little bit when it comes to what should be like a recreational activity. At the same time, like I don't really think like I've fallen out of love with games or anything. I don't play them as much as I really want to, which is kind of weird, you know, when you form a career out of something like this. But, you know, and it's just like I can't really remember the last game I really played like recreationally. It's almost
And like
always
didn't turn into any kind of content.
Yeah, I mean it's almost always getting recorded. Like I'm
Yeah.
always recording like my gameplay for things.
So the next assumption is that being a full-time paid gamer is now more possible than ever.
Totally.
I agree. It's more
Totally.
possible than ever.
Totally.
I think it's still hard and close to impossible to happen to the average person, but I think it's possible. Back when I was young, people want to be like actors, right? They want to be movie stars. The odds feel like similar on the surface where it's like you have to first make it to Hollywood. You have to
Yeah.
first make it into a role, and then that has to do well. Then all these other things have to happen, all these serendipitous, unlikely things. And I think most content creators, if you took them out of their channel, put them on a new one with 0 subs, I think most could do it. I think most could do it again. And the thing is, like, you can't really, there's no textbook, there's no class on it. You can't really know how to do it until you've already done it.
Right.
So I think the first initial, like, bolt of lightning, just the initial growth period is kind of, you have to have had an idea in the first place. And I think getting that into the proper sources is probably luck. And then riding that momentum is all where the talent and the skills and the accumulated skills that you have really come into show.
Probably most people have the ability to be like a content creator in some respect, but the odds or the chance, there's a certain amount of luck that does go into it and algorithm planets aligningness of it. But I do think that anyone could do it.
Yeah, it's also just like, it's not about just being a gamer. There's a lot of other skills that you need to develop in order to like, you know, run something like that and start making money off of it. So yes and no. I think it's also has to do with like, you know, video editors or directors or, you know, filmmakers have more of a chance to make money doing something. Gaming can be a part of that.
Yeah, I would say that probably gaming's probably the lowest thing you would need to be a gaming content creator is gaming ability.
I really do want like everybody to feel like they can do this because anybody can do it, but it also takes a lot of work. And I feel like what a lot of people think is, oh, I just want to get paid to play video games, and that's all it kind of is at the end of the day for them. Any facet of like, if you're gonna get paid for video games, like yeah, you're getting paid for something you love to do, but you're gonna have to work on it, and also like, you know, it depends on which avenue you're taking it. Do you want to be like, you know, a professional esports player? Do you want to be a content creator? Do you want to be a streamer? Do you want to be like a, you know, do you want to make fully scripted videos about video games, or do you want to be unscripted? All of this stuff, like, it all takes skills outside of just kicking back and just playing a game, you know? And I think a lot of people, I think that's why you see so many kids these days say, oh, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a streamer. It's because that's all they think it is. And you know, there's a lot more that goes into it. There's a lot more like hats you have to put on to do this kind of stuff.
Are you guys ever worried about becoming irrelevant at like the drop of a hat? Like, is that like a fear that keeps you guys going?
Not at the drop of a hat, but it's sort of like, we've discussed it where like inevitably the channel will die. Like, I mean, we're not doing such a great job keeping it alive right now, but inevitably people will lose interest. Our audience will outgrow us and move on to other things, and the channel will die eventually. Will that be 5 years? Will that be next year? Will that be 10 years from now? Will we have a whole thing? Who knows? I have no idea. But yeah, the concern is there. It's real.
But our thought is, as long as we still have some kind of an audience that enjoys our content and we can continue doing it, then we're happy. So we don't think that it'll just drop of a hat, 0 views.
Yeah.
We still think, you know, we have a good audience and stuff.
I think there's the fear with YouTubers that the YouTube algorithm will betray you or something. You know, we haven't uploaded in a little while, and there's a worry of like, if I upload this at the wrong time or with the wrong tags or the whatever, like, is that just going to kill the video?
I got such beef. I feel like I hear a lot of YouTubers, not with you guys.
We can have beef if you want.
We don't have
we
beef,
can start
though.
some beef.
That would be good for the video.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah.
I think with a lot of YouTubers, whenever things stop doing as well or start declining, I feel like the first blame is the algorithm, right? And I think that kind of strips a lot of accountability from the creator. And it's really important when things stop doing well for you to look and be like, what can I do to make this do better in the future? What could I have done to have made this done better? Because I feel like so many of the answers lie in like the metadata or the analytics of how the video performed and what people want to see, what did they sign on for? And I think more times than not, a lot of this like decline is so preventable by trying to find like that center of the Venn diagram of what I want to do and what the people want to watch, and then find that little sliver that's the perfect kind of just meal for everyone to make.
Worrying so much about like the algorithm or metadata and on all of this stuff, like at the end of the day, like if it's a good video, like people, like word of mouth will spread. It doesn't mean like, oh, it's not like baseline watchable or baseline good, but like when there's not a reason for people to like spread it around, I think that's when like you kind of start to see like more of like a drop off. And like I'm you know, we've all seen like, you know, a video come out and, you know, we're like, oh yeah, I hope people like it, and then, you know, the comments will all be just absolutely just being like, I love you to death, you are amazing, I have my but the views don't reflect that.
Now, here's a big assumption. There's an assumption that gaming is more toxic than ever, and that bro culture has infiltrated gaming spaces.
I think so, but I think we're, like, just toxic culture in general is more toxic than ever. We're all so
everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so easy to talk to each other these days, and so easy to put your stupid words in somebody's eyeballs that it's just, it's rampant.
I think toxic has become monetizable a little bit. I think there's definitely grifters out there who are kind
System of a Down figured it out.
Yeah, they get views off of rage and stuff. Yeah.
I think you lose yourself in that anger and hatred, though. I feel like if you fake it long enough, it just kind of becomes all you know.
For sure.
That was some Obi-Wan shit right there.
For sure. It almost was Eminem, Lose Yourself
Yeah.
in the music. The
That's
moment you
what I
want
was
it.
channeling, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eminem from Fortnite, of
I picked
course.
it up. Oh, God.
Scott's gonna pivot to become Scott the Toxic Gamer.
Yeah.
Easy
I mean,
enough.
you can make a lot of money doing that.
No,
Yeah.
you really can.
lot of
Do you
That's
have
scary.
it in you?
Obviously, like in video form, like I will play up my feelings. A lot of times, like if I don't like a game, I'll probably like talk about it like, oh, in this game, it's just, like whatever. Like just
Yeah.
be really upset about it. But it's like, you know, I'm playing a character, but I'm not, these are my opinions, but like I'm not really, I don't care that much, you know? Like it's kind of just down to, obviously like when the camera is on, I'm trying to create like an entertaining thing. I'm not trying to like not be myself, but like obviously like anybody in front of the camera is like, oh, look at me, I'm so entertaining right now.
Okay, what about the assumption that a certain part of the internet thinks that video games have become too woke?
True.
It's a big one. Yeah. To me, that's a resounding yes.
I don't know what that means.
Sounds like you're woke.
I guess. Isn't it good to be awake? I don't know. Like, I don't think about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't cross my mind.
I think that's the average human reaction.
Yeah, I would say
Normal human reaction.
if something in a game upsets you in a way that makes you not want to play the game, you should stop playing the game and then just shut up about
Or
it.
it's just not for you. Not
Yeah.
every game needs to
Yeah.
be for everyone. But yeah,
Yeah.
there'll be a lot of times I'll be so excited about some teaser or something, and then I'll go online and the discourse is just, it's madness. And I'm like, whoa, I was excited. Why is everyone so
Yeah.
mad? And it's usually some reason that has nothing to do with the game.
Usually
or the
just if there's
gameplay.
like a girl on camera.
Yeah.
Or there's something that's implied to be gay.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of exclusively one of those two things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The things that come to
Or
mind are
bald.
like bald. Yeah, the things that
Yeah.
come to mind are
Bald
like
representation.
That's exactly
in
what I was
gaming.
thinking
Yeah.
of.
That'd be
anytime
pretty
a
cool.
woman is like
a woman's
less
bald?
feminine.
I get scared.
I think about
That's a big
Aloy.
one,
I think
yeah.
about Aloy's facial hair because she was
That was
she
scary
was made
stuff.
to be slightly less feminine. And I guess you can see like in character designs change throughout a franchise a little bit and they will evolve and stuff and I think that's normal. And yeah, that was pretty upsetting to see everyone freaking
Yeah.
out about her being so ugly.
The fact that people can overreact to such simple stimuli just kind of just shows how little representation like there truly is on like the broader scale. And I think not even just in like the game development side, I think like in creator side. I mean, this is a panel of like four white people, right?
5.
5?
Well,
And
oh yeah.
I think like a lot of creators can do a better job at just being more inclusive and giving
Yeah.
more opportunities to other people. And I think the fact that the outrage is so high whenever, like say Split Fiction, for example, like I think that's the game that comes into recent memory where the only thing that really differs it from the previous games from the same team is that there's 2 women in it.
I
And
love that
people
clip of him
think-
talking about it. That was so funny.
yeah, people think it's woke, but I think like for me, I can pretty much play any game or watch any movie and feel represented to some degree, and I think it's interesting that not everyone can experience that. And I think that's a really crucial thing that I think gaming is leaning more towards. And I think ultimately that's a good thing. And I think you kind of have to go through the growing pains of people reacting, but once there's enough of a foundation of people making these kind of decisions in development, that once it's kind of everywhere,
Yeah.
so to speak, I don't think people will react to it. And I think especially to like trans communities and stuff was like the same rhetoric used to like just gay and queer communities like back 20 years ago. So
Yeah.
I think the cycle repeats as we become more and more progressive, and I think it's ultimately for the good.
I've just seen a lot of the people that are the loudest with this stuff, and if you just take a look at like them for a second, you can kind of see like they don't even play any of these games. Like most of the people that are complaining like this loud about stuff, firstly, I don't think they know why they're complaining. They just see a woman or a gay person or somebody who isn't white, and they just immediately like just say that like they just go off on it. I just look at it like I'm like, aren't you bored of this by
Yeah.
now? Like this is like
it has to be like an exhausting reality.
I wish I had that
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
There's so much energy to be like that mad.
yeah, it's just like okay, well then just stop playing it. Just play the games you want to play.
Play
and then,
forever.
like also a lot of the games that they probably want are they're still being made. They're still out there.
Play Days Gone.
Yeah.
Okay. As a woman.
Woman in
who-
gaming.
Yeah, woman in gaming who is also white. So there haven't most protagonists are white, so it's not like I've ever felt like, oh, finally someone that looks like me. I've seen lots of people that look like me. But I remember in The Last of Us Part 2, there was a whole scene where Dina takes Ellie through a temple, a synagogue, and talks about Judaism and teaches Ellie about Judaism. And I grew up Jewish, and that for me was very much like Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV being like, oh my gosh, yes, that's the thing. And in that moment, I was like, oh, that's why representation matters. I was like, oh, so everyone can have that moment where they're like, yes, that's a thing that I can relate to. Wow, there I am.
Okay, this is a good one. The assumption is that Girlfriend Reviews feel stuck with your name because now you're both gamers and you're both married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have felt stuck with the name Girlfriend Reviews since we started the channel.
Whoa, day one.
I've always regretted it. I think he has too.
Yeah.
It's just like,
We knew you were getting married a long time ago. And we always wondered what's going to happen, but we think a brand changes, it's too confusing.
it's over, it's done. Yeah. And initially, like, what had happened is we just uploaded a video and we were like, Girlfriend Reviews. You know, that's the channel, that's what it's called. And then that video happened to be the video to take off.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, we got to keep going. If we had had a minute to think about it and like create a brand for ourselves, we probably would have been like the Backseat Gamer or something like that.
What would you rename it to now? The Married Gamers?
I don't know.
Couples who
don't
game
know.
together?
Girlfriend Reviews has a ring to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are married now. It is a little confusing.
And I'm a gamer.
I think it is
Yeah.
a really good name for what it's worth. I think it sells the channel
I
what
think
it
you
is.
immediately get it. Not to gas y'all up too much, but it's just like it clicks.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, what you guys do can kind of just apply to couples in general, you know? But like, I feel baseline, if you really want to get rid of the name, you could just do like both of your names. It could just be
Yeah.
like, this is just the content you both produce. But
I had
think,
thought of like rebranding as just GFR or something in the past, but
Yeah.
GFR the Woz.
yes, exactly. GFR the Woz is always right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rad.
We've been having fun with it though. Like we still have her call me her boyfriend, like in the videos and stuff, and we just kind of stick with it. You know, there's a lot of jokes we can make about that and stuff.
At the end of the day, the Shelby on YouTube, the girlfriend on YouTube is kind of a parody of myself and a character, and she's still a girlfriend, and I'm not.
She'll
And
always
I'm
be a
not.
Yeah.
But so what about the assumption that game journalism and game reviews are fully paid for and are fake news?
Now I can't confirm if that's true or false, but I can confirm that people accuse you of being paid for your review when you definitely were not. So I don't know, maybe some people are, but we've been accused of that many, many times, and it has never once been true.
What was your favorite accusation?
Well, I mean, Last of Us Part 2 for sure.
People accused us of
That
being
Naughty Dog
shills.
money.
Yeah. People accused us of being shills for Naughty Dog. I also remember we did a video comparing, I think, the new Xbox and the new PlayStation or something. And Xbox actually sent us that Xbox. And we bought the PlayStation, but we made fun of the Xbox in the video. And people were like, oh, these PlayStation shills. And it's like, well, actually, we got this one for free. We just don't worry about damaging our relationship with brands because we hope that they know that our channel is always silly and that it's fine and we just do our thing. But it does give you a little bit of pressure. You do think, like, am I going to make the free thing people mad?
I mean, like, I'm sure it happens, you know, like some people get paid for. I mean, like, I guarantee, like, a lot of people that have taken, like, sponsorships or, like, they might have gotten sent, like, a video game for free. They're probably getting swayed a little bit to, like, say nice things about it. But, you know, like, I think for the most part, like, I do feel like most reviews, even if you look at a review, like, that review's kind of weird. Like, I feel like it's kind of just down to, like, that's a person's own personal opinion. Might be just, like, kind of weird, so.
I think that's what people always forget is like when it's like a big when it's a big website reviewing something, it's like, well, the whole website didn't review it. Like one person working there reviewed it.
Go on the Metacritic user reviews. You will see so many zeros and so many tens for like games that is just like, you know, like
Mario Golf.
It's that simple.
yeah, it's just like 10 out of 10. I had absolutely no problems with this. 0 out of 10. This game
Didn't have Koopa in it.
Yeah, this game didn't have Koopa with it. My parents divorced after I got this game. You know, it's just like, there's so many things that go into like a review and a score. I'm not surprised. I don't have any examples of like seeing like reviews getting paid for. I mean, I've seen like articles pop up of like, oh, well, maybe like this review was paid for. I don't care. At this point, like, I feel like everybody clowns on like the GameSpots and IGNs anyways. So it's just like, I don't really Like, why do you care about... People are always like, I don't care about their opinion, and then when their opinion comes out, they're all over it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think it's more of a self-preservation of like the brand themselves, of like your IGNs, your GameSpots and stuff like that. Because I think realistically, the people who are looking at reviews probably like the game. And I think they kind of want to be told the game is good. And as you said, it's not the whole company reviewing it. I think realistically, people who are more programmed to like a game are more likely or eager to review it. And, if you numerically look at all the scores given out over the past few years, they're all like mostly positive. Like, when was the last game that got like a 3 or 4 or something? Like, think above average. I mean, you can see it whenever you go to like someone's Letterboxd profile, how much they like movies, or if they just hate film. You can tell very easily.
The graph. But I mean, it's the same. There was like that meme from forever ago. It was like the video game rating scale. It's like 7. It's like, this game is not good. 6. It's like, this is the worst game ever.
Yeah,
And 8, it's like, this is
true.
okay. 9's like, this is pretty good. 10's like, yeah.
I think with a lot of the brands, like, they want to keep the early copies coming, sure.
They want to keep the full relationship, because I mean, who's running ads on their websites?
I can say I called one game bad and severed an entire relationship with a major brand, so I think...
Can you disclose?
I don't think I should.
Well, offline.
Yeah.
What about the assumptions that younger gamers have, less gaming experience because they've kind of been incentivized to play one game over, say, 10 years instead of, a game every quarter or a game every month even?
Yeah.
True.
Sure. I mean, it's easy to point and laugh at Fortnite sometimes, but it's just like, it's a genuinely very impressive game, like what they're able to do with that and the fact that it's all free. So it's just like, you look at that, and like, obviously, like when we were all kids, like we didn't have money either, you were kind of just given like the game you were given, if you had to wait for Christmas or birthdays or holidays, whatever. For kids to just have pretty much access to a lot of free-to-play stuff like that, or even just buying something like Minecraft, and that's like endless, like just you can do whatever you want. There were like your silly little Roblox games, whatever. Like there's so many options for kids right now in terms of free endless games or cheap endless games that... Yeah, and like as a kid, you redo the same thing over and over. I would rewatch the same movies like constantly. So it's just like, I can see from the perspective of a kid how like if you just want to play Fortnite, if you just want to play Minecraft, if you like all these games that are really, really massively popular, and they never really end. That's a little, it's honestly a little concerning, but I understand it, and I feel like
that's a good way to. I agree with Scott.
I mean, as you grow up, you get better tastes. I was like the pickiest eater of all time when I was a kid, and like I eventually like ate a tomato. Like it's just it goes.
LA changed you, bro.
I know.
Yeah, wow.
I know.
I think that is what's happening. Like you are gonna see a kid play, Fortnite for 10 years or Minecraft for 10 years or Roblox for 10 years because they're being supported in such an active way.
Yeah, it does make me feel sad though for kids. And I wasn't playing video games like this, but he tells me all the time about how these games like shaped him as a child and had such an impact on him, like a Chrono Trigger or something. It does make me sad that kids are missing out on these like epic stories like that, but I missed out on them too. So I guess
maybe they aren't. Maybe they are playing in their free time.
They're getting epic stories,
when they're not doing
epic
multiplayer.
creators of Fortnite.
Yeah, there you go.
When I'd have sleepovers and stuff and be playing games with friends, we wouldn't play single player games like Chrono Trigger. We'd be playing Smash Brothers or Mario Kart. And I still play those when I get the chance to play them with people. So it's like, I don't know, maybe kids, when their friends aren't online, they are playing something new and single player and.
And like even back in like, let's say like 2010, and even then, like there are people that will only play Call of Duty, Madden, FIFA, and just over and over and over. And like they'll just buy the newest one every year and that's it. That's pretty much all they do. But it's just like, that's just what they like to do. I don't really see it as like it's so sad they won't have the same experiences as me playing like a single player game or something like that. But it's just like, that's okay because like, it's just what they want to do, and it's just like I feel like everybody can definitely get a lot out of just expanding your horizons in terms of media, art, entertainment that like everybody should try new things. But sometimes it's just like, what? You just want to play a multiplayer game and Fortnite's right there. There you go.
We were also playing games that didn't end back then. And, I think like, there's Smash, there's like Halo, there's Mario Kart, there's whatever. And I think the biggest difference was like kind of like you had a game, you bought it with friends, but I think the real scary part in modern gaming is how it is all free to play, right? It's all free to play with like all these trickle microtransactions all throughout the road, where I think it's so easy to spend way more than $60 you would have paid for the game if it was priced and stuff. And I think that is probably like what I think is the most terrifying thing for like younger gamers, from like Roblox to Fortnite primarily. Those are the two in my head. But I think like there's, especially when Fortnite is kind of trying to mimic Roblox in a lot of ways nowadays, I think both engines are incredible. I think Fortnite and Roblox are, I have nothing, like I think what they create is incredible, but just the fundamental business flow of it, of just how easy it is to spend so much more money than a 6-year-old should realistically have. I mean, there are so many stories, of
So many Smurf dollars.
yeah, exactly. Just like my grandfather, so many children around the world who also fall for such ruses.
Yeah, they're not dollars, they're V-bucks.
Yeah, I think I don't even really know what the solution is, because how do I tell the billion-dollar company to stop making money,
Yeah.
It's not something little old me can really resolve.
Guys, we're gonna do a tier list. This is of video game glitches. Some of my favorites are on here, so treat them wisely. Up first is probably, I would say, the most iconic one of all time. Missing No.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time swimming up and down.
Cinnabar.
Trying to get this, and then I believe it turns into like a level 120 Gengar or something if you level it up at all. Yeah, a lot of mysteries about this one on the playground.
How'd they figure that out?
I've recently just done a huge deep dive video into red and blue glitches, so
I will be watching.
I have the answers. If you actually want
I would like some answers.
I have a video over these glitches.
Watch it.
If you don't believe me, go check. I think, this is just,
It's the glitch.
I think, good.
Yeah, it's S tier.
I will give it 5 PP ups.
Okay, this one my friends and I did all the time. It's the GTA 4 swing set.
It's a slingshot, not a swing set.
Yeah, but if you backed up into the swing set at the right,
I feel like that's like just what GTA 4
That's
is
just
like.
normal.
I didn't know that it was limited to the swing set.
I did a couple of these. I thought they were pretty. It's a fun one. It's like you have a go-to thing you can do in this game.
it's a good thing to show your friends.
Yeah, it
It's
just
a party
launches
trick.
you around.
It is, yeah.
And honestly, the way I played this game back in the day was literally just doing stuff like that. I barely ever played the story. It's all about making your own little fun little games.
Yeah, we put
in the
Nico
game.
through some shit.
I put this below Missing Now.
Yeah,
But
I
still,
put this in
like,
like it's fun. It's a fun glitch, because
It's a cool
you see
one.
tons of stuff in like modern Fortnite too now,
Yeah.
where it's just like you just put two things next to each other and the collision does not add up, and then it just
I feel like every game has something that will launch you.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of, this is the Skyrim, the getting hit by a giant.
I love.
yeah.
is that a bug or a glitch? I feel like that's just.
That was pretty intended.
I think it started as a bug, but I think they liked it and they left it in.
One of my favorite genres of glitch is person flying in the sky.
Yeah.
Very suddenly, it has to be abrupt.
Definitely in the swing set territory, maybe a little above.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm gonna put it below because I almost think it's intentional.
I'll
rank
give it.
At the
NA.
bottom, I guess.
I'm giving it 3 out of 5 sweet trolls.
This is one of my favorites.
Ooh, Layers of Fear. How fun.
It's a Germa clip.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna die on camera. I think I'm gonna die.
I love this baby. Okay, yeah, it's really good.
He finds the trigger point.
Was that sound effect added in later?
No.
I think that's part of the.
Just straight up AFV?
Yeah.
It's just thunk. Yeah, America's Funniest
Yeah.
Videos.
He triggers it over and over again. You see like 30 babies come out and
I
all
love
hit
that.
it's great.
I think it might be combating with the swing set glitch. Maybe even number 1. I don't even care. I don't care about Missing No.
It's funny, but I think if we're going to like iconic glitch, I gotta give it to Missing No.
Yeah.
Missing No is more iconic, but this is so
This
good.
is fun. Yeah,
this
this
is
is
so
funny.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a comedic tier list.
I
It's
would
just a
put
game
it-
that doesn't work.
I've never
Yeah.
laughed at Missing
Yeah.
No.
I
That's
don't know.
true.
I don't know
Guy
anything.
thinks Missing No's hilarious.
I don't know any like
No
little
jokes.
things in Layers of Fear, so I will give it 10 ghost babies.
Cyberpunk 2077.
I had some great glitches in Cyberpunk. Ooh, fancy.
Is it the guy on each other's shoulders? Yeah, I'm liking that over here.
I love that.
I mean, I think Cyberpunk's launch in general has got to be like, it's one of the most infamous launches of all time.
Yeah.
I can't think of one that's more Notorious.
Cyberpunk's glitches almost make me sad. Like, I've played Cyberpunk for a good chunk of hours, and I think like the world design is incredible in that game. Like, it feels like an actual lived-in world, but then you have all this stuff around it that's just, it doesn't work, you know? And it's just kind of like, man, this game, upon, you know, all of its trailers and stuff, had so much potential, and it still has that much potential. And just the fact that it launched in such a horrible state, you know, like it's a little depressing, even if it is a little goofy, you know?
That launch is all you saw was glitches constantly.
The game's
on the
legacy
internet.
is glitches. I feel like A would make sense for me.
Here's another famous one.
Roach. It's Roach on a roof.
I think S tier.
S tier.
That's a fun, family-friendly glitch.
Absolutely. And it's just, it adds so much personality to Roach's character.
I mean, I think that at this point, any horse that glitches in any game immediately gets called a roach.
Yeah.
So, like, the
Skyrim
legacy.
was kind of the first. I mean, like, I need to climb this 90-degree vertical wall. It's like, let me get my horse.
Yeah.
Horse on a roof is like, yeah, S tier. Is that S?
Yeah, I
I'll
think
put it
S tier.
up at the top.
I'll do that, yeah.
Not at
11
the top, but like
11
near
out
the
of
top.
10 lilacs and gooseberries.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
This is the Breath of the Wild speedrun shield glitch.
Ooh.
I think Breath of the Wild is like perfectly broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
They encourage you to break it.
Yeah.
It feels
This
like
Tears of the
it's
Kingdom
part of
especially was.
it. Feels like they want you to do stuff like that.
Tears of the Kingdom, I felt gave me so many tools that when I broke it, it was like, no, they wanted me to do this. But
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, they gave you just enough. Because I think like, you know, some restriction breeds creativity and all that. and
Yeah, yeah.
It was just enough resources to really make you feel like you're actively breaking the game.
Yeah,
I mean, I say A tier. I think like people have made entire like channels out of just messing
Yeah.
around in Breath of the Wild.
A tier. Because even then, like when it comes to speedrunning this game, like using any glitches for that, I think even when this game got announced, they were like, oh yeah, you could probably finish this game in like an hour if you really tried, you know? So it's just like, it's all kind of intended. It's like a glitch that they were like, yeah, it's there.
yeah, like the snowboarding or like
What of
when you
it?
like the shield surfing was like the coolest shit I ever saw.
Yeah.
9 Korok seeds.
Whoa.
I'm a bigger fan of Jason more. I
Jason
will
is
say.
funny because the way he says it is.
Jason.
Jason!
Jason.
Jason!
Also, once you like play this game and have the full story on it, it makes even less sense as you replay it. The whole
No,
twist
the
at
twist
the
is a
end,
lie.
it's so
It's a lie.
stupid.
Didn't like he do it or something?
Huh?
Scott Shelby.
Yeah, Scott Shelby, the detective.
They should
Finals-
throw in one Jason just for the fuck of it.
So it's a million Jasons out of
Sean.
Out of Sean. Yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty high up there. I'm just trying to think of where it lies, you know? Is Missing No still the number one?
I think it is for me.
Unbeatable.
I mean, these are all like funny anecdotes, but none
Yeah,
like
but
have the
Missing No is
culture
like, yeah.
around them
Yeah.
that Missing
What if
No
I like
does.
reveal
I
the
would-
missing no tattoo?
I would argue Jason is very culturally impactful.
It kind of undermined
You
the
didn't see
entire
the same
genre of
forums that
games.
I did back in the day.
I'm just saying, I think that Heavy Rain is pretty substantial.
Missing No takes the.
I know
the
it
top
does,
spot.
but like,
it does.
but if
Heavy
we're
Rain?
doing a tier list, could perhaps we put Heavy Rain also in an S
Maybe
tier?
if it was a tier list of video game memes,
Yeah.
Heavy Rain might take the
It's
S tier.
Video game memes that would be tier list would go hard.
I think
Many-
really to be on the top of a list like this, you have to have come out when glitches were word of mouth.
This is
I'm leaving.
She's
too.
just a huge Heavy Rain fan.
is misogyny.
Hater.
Okay, fine. Yeah. I think it's the best glitch.
I agree with.
I changed my mind actually. I don't agree with Scott for this one.
Well, guys, thank you so much. You guys are all amazing creators. I enjoy all y'all's stuff, and I hope that we get to have you guys back. This has been awesome, and I hope that these assumptions have sat well with you.
Thank you for having
Thank you
us.
so
It's been an
much.
absolute honor. I can't believe it.